Hello, conquistadors of clutter, sorcerers of the sock drawer. I'm Chutney Y, Hollywood's #1 cosmetic acupuncturist and emotional hall monitor, bringing you a real-life glimpse at the spin cycle that is life with DingDing, my hoarding honey from Hong Kong. Yes, it's time for I Love a Hoarder. If you've been here before, you know my household is a democratic institution. DingDing may have hoarding disorder, but I insist on making room for my own emotional dysfunction. What's that, you ask? Arithmomania. And yes, it's real. I count everything. Ceiling tiles, musical notes, the number of sesame seeds on a single dumpling. There is a calculator in my brain that never sleeps. It just mutters equations during otherwise romantic moments. Now, enter Granny Notoparan, chaos gremlin, sequin enthusiast, recent graduate of what I can only assume was a hypnosis DVD, discovered beneath a sofa cushion, alongside a bloated Reese's peanut butter cup that had absorbed enough couch vapors to power a lunar landing. She announced, without credentials, that my arithmomania could be reprogrammed. "Chutney," she said, waving a spiral pendant the size of a manhole cover, "you will no longer count. You will only feel." Well, that was my first mistake. The second mistake? Stopping my anti-anxiety Chinese herbal formula, cold turkey, because, Granny said, it blocks the astral Wi-Fi. By day 3, I had yelled at a group of nuns crossing West Hollywood streets. I barked, "Pick up the pace, ladies!" And that's when I noticed the roller skates. Probably not nuns. Definitely not nuns. I also made a patient cry for not taking the anti-depression herbal formula I'd mixed for him. I know. I hear the irony. So when I found myself with an unexpected free afternoon, I decided to surprise DingDing at her Thai cafe, Beverly Hills adjacent. And let me tell you, I was hungry. My teeth were itchy. My cerebrum was sending out waves that could melt a cheese sandwich. The hostess informed me DingDing had run to a restaurant supply warehouse. Fine, I sat. And that's when I noticed her. Late 70s, impeccably preserved, the kind of cosmetic restoration that breaks the bank, unless you own the bank. She had a fragile frame like a vintage Model T. Hit one bump and a headlight falls off. 5 small black velvet boxes sat before her. She opened one. Inside, a diamond-encrusted bracelet so sparkly it reset my nervous system. "This," she croaked, winking at me, "is divine, isn't it?" She was sipping DingDing's Vava vegetable sake. So named because after 3 cups your cerebrum politely resigns and grows a turnip hat. I ordered a bottle, then another. She informed me she purchased a bracelet for each day of the work week. "For yourself?" I asked. "Oh, heavens, no. For Henry's hussy. Henry's my husband." I blinked. "You buy jewelry for your husband's mistress?" She nodded. "Better he should climb on her than me. Henry weighs 280 pounds in a tutu, which is a whole other story. The last time we made love, he cracked my rib, and I had to have his sparkly magic wand cut out of my wig. 423 toothpicks, 424, 400, counting again. Is it just me, or is it hot in here? Oh, Lord, oh my." Right then, I noticed something. Huh? The hallway leading to the kitchen was clogged with unopened boxes, stacked high like cardboard stalagmites of denial. A paper sign taped to one read, "Please use jeweler bathroom." Excuse me? I felt my blood pressure spike, because Granny had been hypnotizing DingDing too. Curing the hoarding, she said. Evicting the wandering hoard spirit, she said. And yet here we were, boxes multiplying like tribbles. Yelp review in my head. Food excellent. Nearly died under avalanche of dry goods. Oh boy. I stood up, ready to march down that hallway and start drop-kicking boxes into the street, like an audition for the Restless Leg Rockettes, because in my mind, this was proof. Proof Granny's hypnosis had failed. Proof DingDing's hoarding spirit was alive and nesting. Proof that I was, as always, married to the Countess of Cardboard. I took one more volcanic sip of va-va vegetable sake and pushed back my chair. And that's when the bracelet lady grabbed my wrist.
"Darling,"
she said,
"where are you off to in such a tizzy?"
"Those boxes," I said, "they're out of control." She followed my gaze.
"Oh, those! Ha 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 ha!"
She burst out laughing.
Oh.
A deep smoker's laugh from a woman who has seen things, survived things, possibly insured things, just before burning them down.
"Sweet boy,"
she said.
"those are mine."
I blinked. "I beg your pardon?"
"They're for the birthday girl,"
she said. "The what?" I asked.
"They're for Henry's hussy, darling."
And then, like a curtain lifting in a morally flexible nightmare opera, she explained every box contained a gift. Handbags, shoes, silk robes, jewelry organizers, a humidifier for after-athletic exertion. She had been hiding them at the cafe, with DingDing's permission, because Henry has a tendency to snoop.
"Today's her birthday,"
she said, gesturing toward the window just as a U-Haul pulled up.
"That's my delivery boys now. You boys."
I felt something inside me deflate. The hallway was not evidence of relapse. It was a luxury bribe depot. I had been 5 seconds away from staging a public meltdown over someone else's strategic adultery. Between the two of us, we'd downed enough va-va sake to formally register as root vegetables. We collapsed into each other in a heap of laughter, knocking over a lonely daisy in a thin vase.
"Oh, you silly thing. Such a silly boy."
She scooped up the bracelets and, with surprising agility, stuffed them down the front of my shirt.
"Here, sweetie, these are for you. But you'll have to earn them."
"Shouldn't be a problem. You should see me in a tutu."
"Good. Just keep your magic wand away from my wig. Is it me or is it getting hot in here?"
Now, let's pause, because it was time for a sudden U-turn. Yes, I'd built an emotional prosecution case out of cardboard. Off my herbal meds, up to my garters in sake, internal scaffolding gone. The boxes were never the problem. My nervous system was, and the sake didn't help. DingDing walked in just as 2 men in cargo shorts began loading satin-wrapped indulgences into the U-Haul. She took in the scene. Me, sparkling from the neckline, clutching an elderly libertine. Delivery men hauling birthday offerings for a mistress I would never meet.
"Chutney," she said, "why are you bedazzled?"
I opened my mouth, closed it, counted to 4 out loud. Then I said, "I may have misinterpreted the hallway."
"Yes, of course, dear one," she said. You do that when you stop your herbs.
So here's what I learned. When you're dysregulated, you turn neutral stimuli into confirmation of your deepest fear. If you live with a hoarder, every box looks like betrayal. If you struggle with anxiety, every unknown feels like disaster. If you stop the thing that keeps you steady, you will start inventing storms. Those boxes were not about hoarding. Sometimes they are, but that day, they were about an elderly woman outsourcing gravity, about accommodation, about negotiation. That night, I resumed my Chinese herbal formula. Granny Notaparan was demoted from hypnosis czar to sequent consultant of conditional consequence. So, friends, if you find yourself ready to torch the hallway, press pause. Ask yourself, is this really about the boxes, or am I just hypervigilant? You might be right, but pause. Breathe. Be fully regulated before you lift your mighty sword. Remember, fellow conquistadors of clutter, sometimes the real battle isn't with the boxes, it's counting them and surviving to tell the tale. I'm Chutney Y. This has been I Love a Hoarder. Like, subscribe, give 5 stars. And if you find yourself storing birthday gifts for a Hollywood hussy, stick some labels on those boxes.